This is WWE Wrestling Legend Hall of Famer Tito Santana.
This is WWE NXT Superstar Lexis King.
And you are listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Arriba!
And you're listening to the Source Wrestling Podcast. Long live Lexis King.
You're looking at the best there
Austin
is.
316.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
You will rest in peace.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. This is episode 30, the big 3-0 of the Source WWE AEW All Things Wrestling Podcast with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah. And today we are going to talk to you. We're going to drop some gospel on you. We're going to cover Friday Night Smackdown 4/12/24, AEW Rampage 4/12/24. We are also going to cover AEW Collision 4/13/24, and we will end with Battle of the Belts 10 4/13/24. It is a predominantly AEW filled episode, and it's probably the first of its kind. So let's get into it. Episode 30.
Yeah.
Dummies. WWE Smackdown Live 4/12/24 from the Little Caesars Arena, Pizza, in Detroit, Michigan. We start off with our brand new undisputed champion. It is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, live on SmackDown. He can go where he wants now with that title. He comes out to a massive ovation, gets to the ring, and he's on the mic immediately. Here's the thing. He's bringing up The Rock immediately, because everyone's been asking, what did The Rock hand Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw? What did he put in his hand? Like we had the theories. Was it a lighter? Was it Dusty's ring? Was it a tribal chief necklace piece? Like, what is it? So Cody's out there and he says that it's an old wartime relic, he says, was something that he gifted to The Rock. And it was very uncomfortable, is what Cody says. And that leads me to believe, Mike, that it's the watch. It's the Rolex from WrestleMania. Gave it back to him, as just fuck your gift, And so it's not confirmed, but we have, very good reason to believe that it is that Rolex watch. And after he covers The Rock, Cody then goes on to, himself being the champion. He's the guy. And we also can't leave out the fact that he threw out Brandy's line when he was talking about The Rock. And he said, when did somebody say this was open mic night? Bitch.
Yep.
He threw that out there.
Maybe that's more this cryptic foreshadowing that we're seeing.
Could Brandy be coming back to do more than what we saw?
It'd be cool, because it'd be cool to see, like I said, Cody to have a faction.
Yeah.
Now that, he's got the title, he needs a faction.
Yeah,
so
right. And it
that's
happened.
how you carry a title, is having a strong faction.
Yeah, for sure. And as he finishes up on The Rock, he's now talking about his title and how there are going to be these triple threat matches for number one contendership. And he says he doesn't care who it is. He's getting on a jet and he's going to France for Backlash for his first title defense. And we'll find out tonight who is going to move on. Will it be LA Knight? Yeah. Will it be AJ Styles? Nah. Will it be Santos Escobar, or will it be Bobby Lashley? We will find out. And now we go backstage after this, and we see the Bloodline standing in front of Cody Rhodes' new locker room, which just so happens to be the Tribal Chief's old locker room. And KO walks by, and he says they're not invited. And he's got a broom closet down the hallway if that suits them better. Solo then tells Paul Heyman he'll take care of KO. The wise man reminds Solo that winning and losing is everything, and that's very important to keep in mind for later on this episode. And there are consequences to losing, he says. They lost, and Cody Rhodes is the champion. If they want their locker room back, then the title has to come back to the Bloodline, and that's by order of who? The Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Match number 1 of the night. It is one of the number one contender qualifying matches. It is LA Knight. yeah, versus Bobby Lashley versus Santos Escobar. And it's a triple threat match.
What a match.
Extremely entertaining match. Obviously, I'm rooting for LA Knight here, and I know I'm not the only one, but there were times where it looked like it could be taken away from our guy, LA. Bobby Lashley looked strong, as always. You had Santos Escobar, the sneaky guy, could almost steal the victory. But all in all, it all ended well with a little three-letter move, the BFT. Yeah. Your winner and moving on is L.A. Knight.
Yeah, that's the thing is that, I feel like things kind of weren't looking so good for LA Knight.
Right, it was close.
Like it was going the other direction.
But then he just kicked into high gear.
he really did come out of nowhere with that, BFT.
He really did. He kicked into high gear at a certain point in the match and did that flat-footed jump to the top rope from the canvas. That always impresses me. Pulled it off perfectly. It looked really, really good. So LA Knight's moving on. He wins this number one contender qualifier, and we'll see what happens in the next one. But next we have Kayla Braxton backstage. She's with the LWO and Rey Mysterio. Ray says that Karma has been awaiting Santos and Ridge Holland. Karma will always come back to bite you, he says. Kayla then says that Santos denied the allegations. Carlito says that Santos is full of cap, as the kids would say. And Rey Mysterio's focus tonight is on KO and AJ Styles in the number one contender qualifier match. These past couple of years has been special for Ray, he says, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, reforming the LWO, but deep down he believes he has another championship run in him. So
great.
Can he get it done?
I think we're good.
I think we're good too.
I'd like to see him put somebody over.
Yeah. Don't need another championship run for Ray. Let's be honest. He's already a Hall of Famer. And now we have the infamous Bloodline segment. They come to the ring. Obviously, it's not
Maybe
the
it's
full.
because he didn't win a lot of championships.
Yeah, and that's very true.
And
that's
he's
very true.
Fear missing out a little bit.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
And this segment here, guys, the Bloodline segment, we have Paul Heyman, we have Jimmy Uso, we have Solo Sikoa, and they are out there. Obviously, the wise man gets the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is, you know the spiel. It's Paul Heyman, and he's saying that, on the island of relevancy, accountability is key, and they lost at WrestleMania. The wise man says it's no fault of anyone but their own. It's not The Rock's fault, the final boss. It's not John Cena's fault. It's not Seth Rollins' fault. It's not The Undertaker. He says it's all on us because in the island of relevancy, your tribal chief Roman Reigns has accepted accountability. And, at WrestleMania 39, we know that he beat Cody there. This year, it was not the same result for him. So we have not seen Roman Reigns since he was defeated, and rightfully so, I would say. And then at a certain point, Solo takes the mic. And he's talking about what Paul was touching on earlier, the whole, winning is everything, losing comes with consequences, all that stuff.
Yep.
And he's looking at Jimmy Uso.
While
he's saying this, we knew, yeah, right, because he's the one who lost.
Eventually.
He's the one who's there in front of everybody and lost.
I mean, Solo's
at
been giving them
WrestleMania.
the cold shoulder for how long now?
For a long time.
Weirdly enough,
For a long time, he says losing and winning matters, so there's consequences to losing. And he goes, so that means consequences lead to change. And, he switches his focus on Jimmy now, and Solo just gives Jimmy a hug. He tells him that he loves him, so you're like, okay, all right, maybe they are just going to patch this up, but nah. Out from the crowd is a hooded figure. It's none other than the son of WWE Bloodline legend Haku. It's Tama Tonga.
Which we said that he was coming back. We had called that he was signed to WWE.
We did.
A month ago or so, and it's good to see that come to fruition.
And here it is. Tama Tonga is now in a WWE ring on a main roster show. I don't think they're going to start him off on NXT, which could be helpful to everybody, but he's being inserted right in this Bloodline storyline, and it's not looking good for Jimmy Uso, guys, because after Tama Tonga arrives, all bets are off. He's instructed by Solo, who's like the acting tribal chief right now, it seems like. Solo instructs him to go get a steel chair, and then they put Jimmy in the corner, rather, and they wrap his neck in this steel chair, and Solo just comes with like a hip check or whatever it was and absolutely destroys Jimmy Uso.
Yes, he did.
Not moving. At the point where it looks like he needs to be stretchered out type deal. And then, the whole place is shocked. And Paul Heyman shitting his pants because he thought he was going to be, beat down.
Yeah, it really looked like Paul Heyman was shook.
Yeah, it looked like Solo was looking and talking to Paul at first. And then, it moved over and migrated to Jimmy. And with Tama Tonga coming out, we have a new bloodline. We have a new bloodline.
It seems like that, yeah.
And I feel like what they could do is, this new bloodline is going to just wreak havoc on SmackDown until the Tribal Chief returns. And the Tribal Chief can get Jimmy and Jay now for a babyface bloodline like we were talking about. And it's babyface bloodline, heel bloodline. It's money. It's going to draw money. Put him in a War Games match with the final boss at Survivor Series. You know what I mean? Book it now.
Yeah, that'd be great. But here's the thing. I kind of see it as maybe... We have Tonga. We have Jimmy. No, but Jimmy's Uso
gone.
is now one
He's dead.
with Jay. So we have Tonga,
Solo, and that's it.
And now you add, you keep The Rock and Roman.
I mean, obviously
Roman
you have
works
them,
better
yeah.
as a
But
heel.
now what if Jacob Fatu were to come, who
He
is
goes
also
over to
signed?
the other side.
Right, to the other bloodline. It's going to be interesting. I really thought
So
my
he could be a
prediction
good
my prediction after Mania was that the bloodline was done, but obviously I'm proved wrong right here. They have a new member in Tama Tonga, son of Haku, who's one of the toughest
And they're hinting
guys
heavily
on
at
planet Earth.
Solo being the tribal chief.
Yeah, it's looking like Solo is the acting tribal chief right now with Roman out. But that ends the segment, guys, and it's complete and utter chaos. Second match of the night, it is Cameron Grimes getting the jobber entrance versus the steamroller himself, Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he looked like. He looked like a steamroller out there. Cameron Grimes had zero chance when Braun Breaker hits those ropes and that ring just starts shaking.
How long will they feed jobbers to him?
It's going to be a little while, I bet. It's like another Ryback, another Goldberg, type feel. So they're going to just, feed him more, no pun intended, jobbers. But he really needs to be going up against top talent because the dude's ready for sure. Braun Breaker is nothing to play with. He hits the spear. He beats Cameron Grimes. He is on a roll since signing the SmackDown 100%. And we are now backstage with Kayla Braxton, and she's standing in front of the trainer's area looking for a medical update on Jimmy, who we think is dead because he just got absolutely mollywopped by the new bloodline. Paul Heyman walks out, with just a concerning look. And Kayla asks the wise man, is Jimmy okay? And, what happened out there? Solo and Tama Tonga appear now in frame. Tama says by orders of the tribal chief. So right there that this was ordered by Roman, or so they say. And Solo then teases giving Heyman a Samoan spike and scares him. Heyman doesn't know what to make out of that comment, so that is the end of that segment. Rolling into another promo backstage. It's AJ Styles, building up to his triple threat number one contenders qualifier. He says tonight isn't just another match. Tonight is where I fixed where I went wrong at WrestleMania against LA Knight. Rey Mysterio, Kevin Owens, you're in collateral to my path to LA Knight because that's where
he's running right through him.
Yep, he's going right through him. He wants LA Knight like you wouldn't believe, and also he says he wants the undisputed WWE Championship, of course, which is held by American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And he goes, he's going to demolish everything, improve a point. It's not personal, he says. It's necessary. And he's talking to LA Knight now. He goes, LA Knight, I hope you're taking notes because the damage I caused tonight will be just a taste of what you're going to get next week. And he promises that it will be phenomenal. Next up, we have a championship celebration for Bayley. She comes out with her brand new shiny WWE Women's Championship, and the crowd is loving it. She's got a whole
She's loving it.
Yeah, she's loving it. She's got a whole new outlook on everything. She's got new gear. She's got, new theme song, new visuals, new everything. The whole role model Bayley is back. No more damage control Bayley. And she's just out there thanking everybody, saying, she couldn't have done it if it wasn't for the people out there. They
Thank
really.
you for everybody for sticking by her.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean, through everything.
she rose hell for, what was it, 2 years with damage control, but, everyone did stick by her. And when it mattered most, she won. And, we're very happy for Bayley here for sure, because while she has retained at Mania before, she never won a championship at WrestleMania. So definitely cool on Bayley for that. And as we're celebrating, enjoying Bayley, we then get interrupted by Buff Barbie, Tiffany Stratton, and she comes down to the ring it's Tiffy time. That's the time. She comes out to a nice ovation, even though she's supposed to be a heel. People are loving her, and I personally can't blame anybody. Tiffany grabs the mic. She says, honestly, I thought it was just a little rude how, she wasn't given an opportunity at Mania. She goes, who better than the center of the universe herself to shine at the granddaddy of them all? And she goes, you're clearly building towards some type of open challenge, so I accept, because it is, in fact, Tiffy time. And Bayley's like, well, it's nice to meet you. This is a little embarrassing. Nice to meet you, Tiffany. She goes, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I wasn't offering an open challenge. I actually had somebody in mind, and it's not you. And cue Naomi's music. Naomi comes out, to her glow entrance and all that. And Tiff is just disgusted. It basically comes down to the two of them saying, okay, well, Naomi's like, well, it was actually Tiff. Tiff said, I already beat you, Naomi. So why is she next? And she goes, you caught me on an off night. Let's run it back again and see what happens. And it ends up happening right there, right now. Tiffany Stratton in the ring versus Naomi, third match of the night. And this match was pretty good. Tiff got her normal offense in. Naomi got all her signature stuff in as well. I was rooting for Tiffany Stratton to go back to back here and just beat her both times. Unfortunately, it did not end that way. It was very close. Naomi connected with the jackknife hold to pick up the victory, and so there's going to be a different road for Tiffy. So it looks like
Naomi and
Bayley
have a date with Destiny.
Absolutely. Then we had a quick vignette with A-Town Down Under. They're saying since they're SmackDown Tag Team Champions, they didn't even travel to Detroit. They're sitting at a bar somewhere partying. They say the champs can do what they want. And then we pan to Nick Aldis. And
it's going to be a great title run.
Oh, my God. Yeah, can you tell? Nick Aldis now, he's telling the Street Profits and New Catch Republic that he'll have a clearer decision next week in regard to who's going to challenge them. And honestly, New Catch Republic should be out of the picture. In my opinion, they've had 2 shots now, one at the Chamber and another at Mania. Couldn't get it done. Street Profits, I can kind of see fitting that bill a little bit more.
It's different now, though, because they're not the undisputed championships.
Right.
Now they're going
for
one of the set of belts, so it's a whole new ballgame.
Exactly. And after this, we have a promo of Logan Paul. He's not there. He's at home. And he's got his U.S. championship on his shoulder. He's like, guys, basically he's saying, what did you guys expect? This is the Maverick. It's Logan Paul. Obviously, I left the biggest WrestleMania of all time, the biggest draw of all time, with the biggest brand of all time in the middle of the ring. Obviously, I left with my United States Championship. He's saying that the Prime Team, ISHO Speed, it's all a new era. He says it's the hashtag Logan Paul Levesque era, is what he says. And U.S. Champion
yes, sir.
That's the end of that
They're
promo.
They're making that known very clearly.
Absolutely. And fourth match of the night here, it's Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, 2 out of the 3 of the big 3. This match I thought was really good. It was cool to see Chelsea and Piper back together again as a tag team in the ring. It's just unfortunate for them that they were put against the EST and Jade Cargill, because it was not even close. I mean, Piper Niven was kind of an equalizer in a way. needless to say, at the end of the day, the EST and Jade just got it done. Jade Cargill with a massive super kick to Chelsea Green, and then she hits Jaded to pick up the win. No one has gotten up from that so far.
Nope.
1, 2, 3, your winners by pinfall, Jade Cargill
And are we
and
seeing
Bianca
a
Belair.
new tag team here? Is this
Right.
going to be a thing? Because they're talking about it online.
Yeah,
They
right.
seem to
And
think-
maybe the big three doesn't have to be just all three of them at once. It can be, kind of like the no quarter catch crew, who you don't know who's coming out until it goes down.
I mean, that'd
you
be
know what
cool.
I mean? Is
That'd
it
be
going to be
cool.
Jade Cargill? Is it going to be Bianca Belair? Is it going to be Naomi? Like, how do you prepare for either one of them? It could be interesting. I like the way in the direction that they're going with that.
I
For
can
sure.
see Bianca and Jade having a nice tag team
Yeah.
run to start her off.
Absolutely.
warm her
Take
up,
those belts off
see
the
how she looks
Kabuki
with
Warriors.
Gold on her, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, it makes
And
sense.
I think she'll look great with some gold around her waist. We now pan backstage to a backstage interview with Byron Saxton and KO, Kevin Owens. Owens is pointing out all the new changes in production. He's like, hey, have you guys seen this really cool camera view that they're doing lately? Let's just do it now. Come on, just follow me, cameraman. And gotta note this, as KO is walking through the backstage area, heading to Gorilla, there's a little merch table set up back there. There's, a couple T-shirts, and one of them happened to be a CM Punk T-shirt. And Kevin Owens just walks by and just quickly just knocks the T-shirt off the table as a little jab to CM Punk there. And he grabs the Detroit Tigers Legacy Championship that's sitting on that table, and he goes out into the crowd getting ready for his main event match, the number one contenders qualifier match. He goes out with that championship. The crowd's loving it because they are in Detroit, and now it's the match. It's KO, Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio in the number one contenders qualifier. And as you would expect, this match ran on all cylinders. All three guys, hats off to them. They looked really good. Rey had his moments. KO obviously had his moments as well. But AJ Styles just wanted it a little bit more. He's just feeling very salty about that WrestleMania 40 loss to LA Knight. Yeah. So he finds a way to win this match. It's AJ Styles with an Avalanche Styles clash, which was unbelievable. That picks up the victory. And after the match, Styles has a huge standoff with LA Knight as the show fades to black. Love this rivalry.
Yeah, they're just jawing at each other, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you think you're the best? Yeah. Oh, I know I'm the best. Yeah. Well, we'll see about that, dummy. Yeah. AJ Styles by pinfall. So that means, guys, we now get a WrestleMania rematch. It is AJ Styles, the Phenomenal One, versus the fastest rising megastar, LA Knight. And if we're going to go with some predictions, although I'd love to see LA Knight in another championship match, I think AJ Styles wins this match, ties it up with Knight, because we got to go babyface versus heel here for Cody's championship. Am I right?
That's absolutely right. You got to start off on the right foot with your booking with Cody. AJ Styles is a believable candidate.
Very
to go
believable.
against Cody
Former
Rhodes,
champion.
And somebody that you can have lose to Cody Rhodes and it really
And
won't
not be
affect the
affected.
storylines
Yes,
or anything
exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
You have LA Knight go in there and lose that match against Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
That's
his
just
white
gonna set
hotness
him
kind of
back.
goes.
Yeah.
When he went against the Tribal Chief at Crown Jewel,
I
that
think-
didn't really hurt him because he was in the main event with the Tribal Chief.
I don't think he's going to win clean. I think
No.
that's going to be the story
Yeah.
of how LA saves
Exactly.
his name.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see AJ Styles get a run-in from somebody. I could see maybe him reuniting with
Oh, the Good Brothers
Good
could come
Brothers
out
or
and help.
something, or-
Michin could come out and serve as some distraction.
Or maybe he's got something else up his sleeve, and while
Right.
he's been turning his back on them, maybe
Absolutely.
he's got something else. Maybe he's joining the with AOP and
The
Karrion
Final
Kross. Imagine
Testament.
if he did
Ooh,
that.
AJ
Yeah.
Styles would be a hell of a leader to that group.
Yeah, so who knows?
That's
a lot,
for sure.
A lot of
Yeah.
possibilities. We're getting away from it,
Yeah.
but that's the wonderment in me. I guess.
That's absolutely the wonder of pro wrestling. It's like Disneyland; anything's possible, and that is going to end our WWE Friday Night Smackdown coverage. We appreciate you rocking with us for 30 episodes, and we are going to continue now to AEW Rampage that same night. April 12th, 2024. Let's go. And it is AEW Rampage from the Charleston Coliseum in Charleston, West Virginia. It is opened right up with a match. It is Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy from wherever, weighing whatever. I love that. I feel like I have to say it every time. I really like how he's announced and presented. Really liking everything Orange Cassidy is doing. And he's going against Dark Order member here, Alex Reynolds, who is out there with John Silver. It was a pretty good match, lightning fast match for Rampage. Two really tough guys. At one point, Orange Cassidy is handing out orange punches to everyone and their grandmother outside the ring. And he goes back in the ring, hits one more on Alex Reynolds to win this match, and he hits one as well to John Silver. You name it. Whoever was out there, they got hit with an orange punch. Your winner is Orange Cassidy. And after this, Renee Paquette comes to the ring, and she wants to talk to Orange Cassidy about what happened with Trent Beretta. You know, they're no longer a tag team. Orange Cassidy just says, hi. Okay? So Trent interrupts that. Comes down. Chuck Taylor then pops up behind Orange Cassidy and walks Trent off before walking out of the arena. And Chuck Taylor's caught in the middle of this. You don't know what's going to happen. And now Alex Marvez is with Anna Jay. Anna wants to know, what's going on in AEW. Why is everyone just making out with each other in the women's division and drinking champagne? She says it's no longer about wrestling. Tony Khan's got to fix that. And Azumi agrees that Mina, Mariah, and Toni Storm are all stupid, and both women fist bump, and we end the segment. Match number 2, in my opinion, was one of my favorite matches of the night. It is Layla Hirsch in an AEW TBS championship match with our champion Julia Hart, the princess of the Black Throne, and that's exactly what she looked like. She looked really good in this match. Hirsch did give her a fight, I gotta say, but in the end it was Julia Hart. Seems like her shoulder's messed up. It's already taped up as it is, and Hirsch rolls into the ring quick, and they go to a quick cradle finish, so we don't know if Julia just hurt herself here or if she is actually just, it's a storyline. But I really liked the match between the two of them. We had a suicide dive to the floor. It was really cool. Your winner of this match and still AEW TBS champion is Julia Hart.
She's got to keep that run going.
Absolutely. I think she is going to be in really good shape when she faces Mercedes Moné or Willow Nightingale at Double or Nothing. So we will see. Match number 3 of AEW Rampage. It is Cool Hand Angelo Parker, and this is the main event, guys. It is Cool Hand Angelo Parker versus Zach Knight. They finally get a match after all the backstage rumbling with Saraya and Ruby Soho. I almost called her Ruby Riott because that's what she was in WWE. For those of you who did not know, she had a decent run with WWE there as Ruby Riott. This match is Angelo Parker, Ruby's boyfriend, versus Zach Knight, Saraya's brother, and we already have a Knight in wrestling. It's LA Knight. Zach Knight, you can go away. Yeah. Needless to say, these guys had a really good match, and Zach Knight is just a powerhouse, it seems. Took out Cool Hand here, Angelo Parker, with a running elbow for the win, and this is the first time that I saw Zach Knight wrestle Saraya's brother, and he looked okay. He's still got some kinks to work out, I think, character-wise. He's just this crazy guy who's mad at everything.
I mean, funny part is I grew up with a dude named Zach Knight.
Did you really?
One of my good friends growing up, still a friend of mine.
No shit. Shout out Zach Knight.
Zach Knight, and every time you say it, I'm just like, this
so
is crazy right now.
So weird. And I'm sorry that
They're starting to get more popular, I feel like. The more and more episodes we're doing of AEW, I'm hearing his name more and more.
Yes.
So Zach Knight on the ups.
He's on the come up, and I'm sorry, guys. That actually was not the main event. There was one more pretty awesome match that I forgot about here. It was Matt Sydal, formerly known as Evan Bourne in WWE, for those of you who did not know, versus Bullet Club Gold member Switchblade Jay White. And this was a pretty decent match as well. A lot of outside interaction, though, and distraction from the Bullet Club / Ass Boys. White steps back at the end of this match and just grabs Sydal by the neck, hits that Blade Runner, and he wins this match. Your winner by pinfall with that Blade Runner is Switchblade Jay White, and that is going to end the lightning coverage of AEW Rampage. I figure it's only right. It's a lightning fast show. It's only an hour, guys, so that's what we got there for AEW Rampage, and we are going to transition into AEW Collision for 13/24. It is AEW Collision, April 13th. 2024, and the show starts off with Shivani and Daddy Magic on commentary, and they are discussing and congratulating the new IWGP heavyweight champion Jon Moxley, who just made history by winning that title. He is, I believe, the only wrestler to be the world champion in WWE, AEW, and now IWGP, all in the same lifetime.
Now,
so
what's with this? What's with that? I mean,
that's another Japan.
Okay, but why are they allowed to wrestle for there?
I don't understand.
And why aren't they
the
allowed
whole
to wrestle for the WWE?
Right. I don't know the whole deal that's behind that. I just know if you're in AEW, you have free range to pretty much go work anywhere besides WWE at this point. So Moxley has been gone for a little while from AEW, and he wins this IWGP World Heavyweight Championship with Renee Paquette there by his side to do it. And it was pretty cool. Definitely pretty cool seeing Jon Moxley raise another big championship. And before the first match of the night, we have BCC members Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. They are backstage cutting a promo about how they're going to beat the Don Callis family tonight. They said they are not worried about Don Callis's threat, and that his family it was threatened that the family was going to injure these guys during this match. They said they're not worried about that. BCC are the ones who hurt people every night because violence is their specialty, says Bryan Danielson. So we're pumped for that. And the first match of the night was one of my favorites. It was the House of Black. House of Black members Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King going up against Matt Sydal, Action Andretti, and Dante Martin from Top Flight. And it was a really good match both ways. Both teams showed out. It ended up being the House of Black taking the victory here, and rightfully so. And towards the end, Action Andretti hits a 450 on Brody King that only gets a 1 count. And the House of Black now triple team Matt Sydal in the corner with double running boots and a cannonball. 1, 2, 3, your winners of this match. And they're still badass. It's the House of Black. Love that faction. Really, really cool. Up next, it is our women's champion Toni Storm.
I do like them.
Aren't they awesome? I think they're awesome. House of Black wins the match. Up next, it is Toni Storm and Mariah May. They are being interviewed backstage, and Storm teases yet another kiss with Mariah before instead directing trash talk towards Azumi. And she says she's talking about fetish publications before doing her tits out, chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe type thing. Then we move on backstage. It's now Chris Jericho, Lionheart, confronting Taz after Dynamite. It's this promo, I guess, took place after Dynamite with what happened with Lion Hook. And Jericho asked Taz to get Hook to respond. Taz says he'll try. Hook's very unpredictable, he says, and when he's pissed off, you really can't get to him, but he's going to try to broker another meeting between the two of them for this week's Dynamite, which looks stacked, by the way. Go check out that card. Up next, it is Katsuyori Shibata versus Lee Moriarty. And Shibata looks good here. He gets Lee down on the mat and puts him away with a thunderous PK for the 3. Your winner here is Katsuyori Shibata. And after that, it is Shane Taylor. He then attacks Shibata after this match, and Hook comes out to make the save. Hits Moriarty with a suplex, and Shane Taylor leaves the ring, to keep everyone from getting in there with Hook. And now we move to another segment. It is Athena and Billy Starks. They are interviewed backstage. Athena is vowing to make an example out of Red Velvet later tonight to show the world what they've been missing, and that match later is for the ROH what was it? I think it's the ROH Women's Championship that she's held for quite some time, being Athena, and now it's yet another segment. Lots of segments here on this episode.
Finally.
They need these segments, though.
Jeez.
It's the Undisputed Kingdom now.
It's almost like they're overcompensating for,
for something. Interesting. It's the Undisputed Kingdom now being interviewed backstage. Roderick Strong is insulted by a question about giving Wardlow credit for helping him retain the international title. Roderick says he doesn't need to give credit to anybody but himself, and he says he's going to beat the hell out of Rocky Romero later on tonight's Collision as well. Up next, we have Angelico versus Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia seems still to be over with the fans. He comes out, he does his silly little dance that he does, and everyone seems to love it. He ends up forcing Angelico to tap out in this match to a knee bar submission. Your winner by submission is Daniel Garcia. We cut to backstage now. It is Pac, the bastard himself, cutting a promo on Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker. He's saying that Okada is not God's gift to professional wrestling. He's crap. And I kind of am agreeing with Pac right now. I really am, guys. I don't see what the hype is with Okada. We're still waiting for it. Anyway, he says Okada is crap, and that Pac himself will prove it at Destiny. And our next match is AEW debuting Azumi, another Japanese talent, versus our women's champion, Timeless Toni Storm. And this match was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Azumi really did impress me. And it's just a little weird how her name is Azumi, but it's just AZM. That's all that comes up. And it took me a while to get used to that. So AZM, Azumi, whatever you want to call her, she battled with Timeless Toni Storm in this match, but nevertheless, chin up, tits
Can't
out.
beat Timeless
She
Toni
got
right
it
now.
done.
She's so hot right
yeah,
now.
watch for the shoe and watch for the Storm Zero, the pile driver, which really put her down for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner is Timeless Toni Storm in this Women's Championship Eliminator match, and they celebrate this match, meaning Toni Storm and Mariah May. They celebrate afterwards with champagne and face licking. Face licking. I think that is a first in professional wrestling for me. Next, we get Red Velvet cutting a promo on Athena, saying that she made a big mistake coming into her house because Athena is normally seen on ROH television. Needless to say, they will be having a match tonight. Then it's Mark Briscoe. He's cutting a promo backstage on the House of Black. He's saying he's not afraid of them. They're the ones who should be afraid of him, Eddie Kingston, and Adam Copeland at Dynasty. The team aptly named by Edge off the top of his head, the Rated Chicken Hawks. We'll see if they go with that because that was really funny in that promo. He goes, I literally just made that up. The Rated Chicken Hawks. It is now Tony Schiavone. He brings out Thunder Rosa now for an interview. She's saying that she's thanking everybody for making her comeback so special. You know, she wasn't sure if she's going to be back to this point. You know, she was a former champion, and now she's back, and she's on a roll. She doesn't need help to win the AEW Women's World Championship, she says. And that comment is directed towards Deonna Purrazzo, the virtuosa.
Oh, God.
Thunder Rosa is not happy that Purrazzo got involved. She said she doesn't want her help.
At least she's moved on from Tony Timeless Storm.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's done with her.
Good.
And, you know, but she's saying, Thunder Rosa saying she doesn't know what happened to Timeless Toni Storm. She went crazy. She lost her mind. You know, she says she's going to humble Toni Storm at Dynasty and take back the belt that she never lost. Yep, we've all heard it before.
Isn't that what Deonna Purrazzo said?
It was, and many women before her as well, may I add. You know, Rosa says she's going to drag her soul to hell for trying to take off her face paint. And Deonna Purrazzo now responds in the back by saying she's the one who embodies what the AEW World's Women's Championship is all about. She says she fights Mariah May next week, and she's going to break her arm. She's calling her out. Okay, I think MariahMay's going to handle her, but that's just me.
You think so?
Absolutely. I see a lot of Charlotte Flair and Mariah May.
Purrazzo, they're just trying to build
I know, and
her.
I don't
they're
like
forcing it down our throats.
They really are. It's like, take this.
Who
I know
is
it doesn't
she? Where
taste
did she
good.
come from, and who does she know?
Right. Well, who is your
That's all I
daddy, and
wanna
what
know.
does he do?
She's so out of shape.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
She's just so out of shape. She's not in wrestling condition.
No, I mean there can be somebody else they could put in this position. You know,
she's not smooth. Her mic skills suck.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan, but apparently she's a fan. A former friend of Toni Storm and all these other women's wrestlers. So, needless to say, next up it is Kyle Fletcher and Powerhouse Hobbs. They are cutting a promo on the BCC. Hobbs guarantees that Danielson won't even be able to walk out of this main event tonight on his own, and that is a big threat from a big guy, Powerhouse Hobbs, and that leads us to the main event match of the night. It is Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli, BCC, Blackpool Combat Club, versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Kyle Fletcher, good friend of Will Ospreay. another amazing wrestler of that caliber. And this match was what you expected it to be. It was an epic of its own kind. Towards the end, Kyle Fletcher nails Bryan Danielson with a dive through the ropes. And, we're getting the announce table cleared off now, and Claudio uppercuts Powerhouse Hobbs over the table, sends Kyle Fletcher into the ring mat. He follows that up with the neutralizer, and not many people get up from that. So your winners of this match via pinfall with the neutralizer are the Blackpool Combat Club members Claudio Castagnoli and the American Bryan Danielson. I keep wanting to say Daniel Bryan. That's my WWE showing.
Oh, yeah.
He'll always be Daniel Bryan to me, damn it.
Yes.
After this match, though, we're getting a celebration from the BCC, and out of the crowd or out of nowhere, it's Konosuke Takeshita. We haven't seen him in a little while. He shows up and just wreaks havoc. He attacks Claudio. He clocks him after the match is over. Now it's a 3-on-2 beatdown inside the ring, and Konosuke Takeshita now hits Bryan with that brain buster on the rampway. Claudio runs him off with a chair as Daddy Magic says the Don Callis family accomplished their mission to injure Bryan Danielson, and then Collision just fades right out. So now the question is Daniel Bryan / Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him, is he going to be ready for Will Ospreay at
whatever
Dynasty?
Whatever your flavor is.
Yeah. Is he going to be ready for the aerial assassin Will Ospreay at Dynasty? I guess we will find out, because that is the end of Collision. That is going to end this portion of the show. And we have one more special show coming up, though. This is a predominantly AEW episode. We are now going to cover Battle of the Belts 10 now. And it is Battle of the Belts 10, and it wouldn't be Battle of the Belts if there weren't some titles on the line. So it starts right off with the FTW Championship match. It is FTW Champion Hook versus Shane Taylor from Shane Taylor Promotions. And this match, in my opinion, guys, stole the show. This match was unbelievable. Two different style guys, two different sizes. It did not matter. Hook and Shane Taylor put on a clinic in this match, and Shane Taylor's a big boy, 300 plus pounds. Hook, he's a slender, small guy, but he is in really good physical condition. They went back and forth for quite a while. Hook actually was able to finally lift up Shane Taylor and get him up for some exploder suplexes, and it was kind of building towards that the whole match. His back was
Shane
given
Taylor
out.
Ain't a small guy. So
no, big guy, and he was. He ended up, by the end of it, Hook was just suplexing this man, this monster of a man, all over the place. And at this point, it's not looking good for Shane Taylor and the Shane Taylor Promotions, because Hook locks in that red rum, and he had it in for quite a minute. And he was able to lock it in from the back, and he keeps it real tight. And Shane Taylor tried, shaking him off. He even rammed Hook and himself into the turnbuckle. Hook did not let go of this submission. It ends up where Hook wins by submission, and Shane Taylor did not tap out. He passed out by decision.
Because Hook is so hot right now.
Yeah, he's ridiculous, and I really, really am enjoying what he's doing. I want to see what he does in free agency.
Yeah.
Please test the waters.
Yeah, please go to WWE.
Yeah, right, I know. Your dad did it, man. Your dad did it.
I honestly wouldn't mind him going to WWE and doing an NXT run.
Yeah. Oh, dude, imagine a Hook NXT run.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely. So your winner and still FTW champion, Hook. And after this, it's Rocky Romero being interviewed in the back. He says, where he's asked what's going on with the best friends. He says he doesn't know what's going on, but he needs to focus on beating Roderick Strong tonight. And Kyle O'Reilly himself stops by to wish him good luck. And that match is next. It is the AEW International Championship Eliminator. It is Roderick Strong, the champion, versus Rocky Romero. And there were some good moments in this match. Needless to say, Roddy Strong catches Rocky with that rising knee out of nowhere for the 1-2-3. Your winner is Roderick Strong, the international champion. And Kyle O'Reilly comes out to congratulate Strong after the match and then check on Rocky Romero. He's still, playing both sides. He's not strictly Undisputed Kingdom. He's playing both sides here. He lifts Romero up, but then Wardlow destroys Rocky Romero with a clothesline. The Undisputed Kingdom then set their sights on Kyle O'Reilly and take him out too. So I guess if he wasn't joining, he's definitely not joining now. Strong is talking a lot of junk at Kyle O'Reilly and says he warned him. We are now backstage. It is Serena Deeb, and she's being interviewed. She's saying she's undefeated since her return, and she's climbing her way through the ranks to the top. Serena Deeb invites Sakayaki into her dojo, so she can see how good Yuka really is and to prove that she's even better. And next up, it is the ROH Women's World Championship match, like I talked about a little while ago. It is Red Velvet versus Athena, the current ROH Women's Champion, and she's had that belt for a long time. She is now 50-0 in Ring of Honor as well. And Athena gets her back into the ring towards the end, hits the O-face to get the pin to retain the title. So that reign is still going, and Billy Starks is with her now, celebrating in the ring. They taunt Red Velvet, so she slaps them in the face, and the heels then decide to just beat her up, which brings out Queen Aminata, who we haven't seen in a little bit. She comes out, makes the save, looking strong. She takes out both Starks and Athena as Battle of the Belts goes off the air, and it was a quick one. Battle of the Belts 10 had its moments. I would say Hook and Shane Taylor Promotions really tore that shit down.
Yep.
That was the match of the night for me, and this is going to end our show and our coverage of AEW Collision and the Battle of the Belts 10. We are giving you every AEW show this week. I say they are focusing a little bit more on the storylines now, which is not a bad thing. The wrestling has always been solid, but they really needed help backstage, and they're working on it, it seems. So we'll see. This is going to end the show, guys, but before we go, we are going to give you a little bit more of On This Day in Wrestling History.
And on this day in wrestling history, we have our notable wrestling birthdays per usual. We're going to start off with Mia Yim. 1989. Obviously, she is in the WWE. She's on Smackdown.
Yes, she is.
She has the blue hair.
She does.
Can't miss her. Mm-hmm. She's in a faction with AJ
she is
Styles.
Now
or
Michin.
So are we?
Yeah, she's now known as
Or
Michin.
is she in the faction? Is there a faction?
Right.
No one knows.
We don't know.
Yeah. Joe Doring, born in 1982. He is from TNA Wrestling.
Okay. I wasn't
member
sure
of
about
Violent by Design. He is actually currently inactive due to cancer surgery.
Oh, no way. Well, we wish him well.
Two-time Impact World Tag Team Champion alongside Eric Young.
Interesting.
And Diener holding the title under the Freebird rule, whatever that is.
Don't know.
Also a Triple Crown Heavyweight Champion.
Interesting. Joe Doring, happy birthday to you.
In All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Ah, okay.
Paul London.
Paul London, that is a cool one. I saw him wrestle live in Providence quite a few years ago. He had a nice WWE run as well.
He has been known as the El Gran Luchador, the El Vegas Dragon, Paul London, and Sadistricito.
Interesting.
Sadistico.
Say that 3 times
Sadistico.
fast.
Sadistico.
Sadistico.
Yeah. Sadistico.
That's
3
tough.
times, that's it. And then the next birthday we have for you is Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, my
1968, infamous heel, you were saying.
Extreme heel, one of the biggest heels you've ever seen. All I have to say are 2 words, guys, and you know what I mean. Excuse me. Whenever she came out, she would get booed out of the building like Dom, and she would just, in her high-pitched, disgusting voice, she would just say, "Excuse me. I said, excuse me."
And that was his real wife.
That was Eddie Guerrero, the late, great, we miss him very much, Eddie Guerrero's real wife in real life. And she ended up having a run. I think she had some matches that were terrible, but we're not going to talk about those. Happy birthday in wrestling history to Vicky Guerrero.
George the Animal Steel.
The Turnbuckle Eater. The guy who looked like he was always wearing a sweater with his shirt off.
1937 to 2017.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Yeah,
for
we
sure,
all know
brothers.
George the Animal Steel, or we should all check him out if we haven't. He had a very hairy back.
He did. That's why I said he looked like he was wearing a sweater when he actually wasn't. And on this day in wrestling history, a very sad one here. In 2020, longtime WWE ring announcer, WWE Hall of Famer, one of the company's very first ever employees, Howard Finkel, the GOAT, in my opinion, and that's no debate, passed away at the age of 70 years old. Rest in peace to the Fink. Coming down the aisle, it's Howard Finkel, brothers.
And on this day in wrestling history, 2018, on an episode of Raw from Hartford, Connecticut.
Ooh, not far.
WWE's hometown. Jeff Hardy defeated Jinder Mahal to win the United States Championship.
Wow, okay. Jinder. Don't hinder Jinder. Looks like Jeff Hardy hindered the Jinder.
He did.
On this day in wrestling history, the year is 2001. On an episode of Monday Night Raw in Knoxville, Tennessee, The Game, Triple H defeated Jeff Hardy, once again, to win back the Intercontinental Championship. He had lost to Hardy just days earlier on this day in wrestling history. On this day in wrestling history, the year 2000, this was one of my favorite pay-per-views to steal on the black box as a kid. It was WCW Spring Stampede. Took place at the United Center in Chicago. And a first for the WCW, every title in the company had been declared vacant the previous Monday on Nitro when the returning Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo reset all of the storylines. And as a result, a whole set of new champions were crowned, and the main event saw Jeff Jarrett defeat Diamond Dallas Page in the final of a World Heavyweight Championship tournament on this day in wrestling history.
And on this day in wrestling history in 2007, on an episode of Raw in Milan, Italy. The Miracle in Milan took place when Santino Marella made his WWE and immediately won the Intercontinental Championship. The win came about
his debut,
when Vince McMahon handpicked a fan from the crowd to face Umaga for the title. Marella won with help from Umaga's WrestleMania rival Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool how they pulled Santino out of the crowd, and unfortunately he turned into a joke gimmick after this. And it was really cool that he beat Umaga, the Samoan bulldozer, rest in peace, would be heavily involved in the bloodline right now if he were around, for sure. And that is going to end this show, guys. We really appreciate you rocking with us. 30 episodes in, and we are not bored yet.
Not yet.
Not quite yet. The Source Wrestling Podcast can be found on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on whatever you can follow us on, because we are there, brother. The 24-inch pythons are there, brother. Once again, you're listening to The Source, WWE, AEW, All Things Wrestling Podcast. It's The Source with Joe
and
Mike. Yeah. Let us talk to you next time.
Let us talk to ya.
Yeah.